Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name's Joey. This Saturday is UFC 264. I'm so excited for this fight card. The co-main event is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Gilbert Burns, a fight that I'm looking forward to probably the most on the entire card, which I know sounds crazy because you have Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3, which I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to, myself included. But this Gilbert Burns fight versus Thompson just has me so intrigued because my favorite fights are the ones that I'm like, I have no idea what's really going to happen. And this fight, I can see it going so many different ways. I can see Wonderboy outpointing Gilbert Burns to a decision. I could see Gilbert Burns getting an early finish. I could see Gilbert Burns getting a submission. This fight could just go so many different ways. And I made another video talking about it. Some of you guys have already seen that. But I really wish that this fight was 5 rounds because if this fight goes to a close 3 round decision, I'm just gonna be like, damn it. I wish we had 5 rounds here. I know the UFC did it for Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards because Nate Diaz requested it, but I would have loved to see him do it here. This is a big fight. It has, high stakes for the division. If Wonderboy beats Gilbert Burns and he does it impressively, I think without a doubt he's probably the guy most deserving of the next welterweight title shot. I know people are saying Colby and Dana has said Colby, but I'll say this, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's a reason that fight has not been signed yet, and I don't know what it is, but if Wonderboy comes out and is able to get a decisive, impressive win over Gilbert Burns, he has to get the next title shot, in my opinion. And who wouldn't love to see that Usman Wonderboy stylistic matchup? But I don't know if he's going to be able to get by Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is super tough. He's super durable. He's so well rounded. He's fast. There's just so many compliments you can give the guy, and there's so many different ways that he can get it done. I feel like if Wonderboy wins, I feel like he probably wins a decision. He's a point fighter. I hate to say that, and I love watching Wonderboy fight. He has finished some guys. He's put beatings on guys. He had impressive wins over Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal in his last 2 fights. Before that, I think he was KO'd by Anthony Pettis, which was the first time that he was ever finished in an MMA fight. I believe so. He had that decision loss to Darren Till, but he could have easily won that fight. And Wonderboy's style, his karate style, he's so light on his feet. He has great footwork. He has that awkward side stance. It's really hard to connect and find him. Very few guys are able to find Wonderboy's chin cleanly throughout an entire fight, let alone a knockout shot. And Pettis, I don't know if he was just lucky. It was a perfectly placed Superman punch landing right on Wonderboy's jaw and put him to sleep. And I think, maybe, Wonderboy's getting older. He's naturally going to get a little bit slower. Gilbert Burns is just still young and hungry. He's coming in off that loss to Kamaru Usman where he nearly stopped Usman in the first round. He almost stopped him. Devastating loss for him. Then he eventually gets finished. I think it was in the 3rd round. But, I could see this fight going so many different ways. And the reason I'm actually a little bit late making this video, I wanted to have it out yesterday, is because I keep flip-flopping on who I'm going to pick for this fight. It's just such a weird stylistic matchup. And I love this fight so much. I really, I always like to tell you guys when I give a prediction, I like to tell you, how confident I am in my prediction. And for this fight, I'm like 50-50. Either guy could really win. I think I'm going to go with Gilbert Burns by 3rd round submission. And hear me out here. I think Gilbert Burns has some nasty power. He's shown it in multiple fights. He showed it in the Damian Maia fight. He showed it in the Kamaru Usman fight, even though he lost. And I just think, maybe Wonderboy wins the first 2 rounds, but he starts to slow down a little bit. Not that he doesn't have 5-round cardio, because Wonderboy definitely has 5-round cardio. He went 5 rounds twice with Woodley. First fight was a draw. Second fight, he lost by decision. But I'm saying he starts to slow down. And Gilbert Burns has phenomenal cardio. I give Gilbert Burns the edge in the cardio department. And I think, naturally as the fight goes on, you slow down a little bit. And I think Gilbert Burns is going to find his chin, put him down, and, not put him out, but put him down, and then immediately go use that to transition for a submission. I just think that Wonderboy is such a good striker, and he has such great takedown defense. And Gilbert Burns, even though he's so amazing on the ground in jiu-jitsu, he doesn't have the best offensive wrestling. He was able to take Woodley down multiple times, but we know where Woodley stands at this point. Woodley has been taken down so many times by so many different guys. I can't even list them off. His career trajectory after that Usman loss has just been the worst I've ever seen. He's out of the UFC. Now he's boxing a YouTuber. And I always talk about this in most of my pre-fight prediction videos, resumes. And I have to say, even though I'm picking Gilbert Burns, you look at his resume, and it's not very good at all. His best win is against Tyron Woodley. And that was at a point, Woodley was just coming off that loss to Usman, so it wasn't at the worst point. But now where we've seen where Woodley's at, it hasn't aged very well. Gilbert Burns took that fight on short notice, and he absolutely dominated Woodley to a 5-round decision. And Woodley's super durable. For whatever he is, whatever's going on in his life, that he's been getting dominated by every guy. I don't know if it's just the level of talent he's facing. He's so durable. Usman wasn't able to finish him. Burns wasn't able to finish him. Colby was able to finish him, but it was kind of, fluky, weird injury to the ribs. And that's Burns' best win. And the reason Burns got a title shot, if you guys don't remember, last year he was stepping in on late notice and taking so many different fights. I think he stepped in on late notice to fight Damian Maia. Then he stepped in to fight late notice Tyron Woodley when Tyron Woodley was still well-respected, just coming off his title loss. And then he got the fight in July. Gilbert Burns did. He was supposed to fight Kamaru Usman last July, but then Burns got sick. So then inevitably the division took a different turn, and then finally Burns got his title shot in February of this year. And he looked sharp in that fight. Even though he eventually got finished, I just think he got a little bit overzealous. I think Burns is probably the toughest matchup for Usman in the division. I know there's a lot of tough matchups for him, but at least going into that fight, I really thought Burns had a legitimate chance to beat Usman. I personally picked Usman. I just think Usman's so good and well-rounded. But Burns has great power. He has great jiu-jitsu. He has sneaky striking. It's like a weird, I can't describe it, but he has like a weird sneaky striking where he lands shots when guys really don't expect it. But Wonderboy, we've seen him. He has so many kickboxing matchups. He has so many kickboxing fights. His striking is phenomenal. He's an amazing counter striker. And Burns, kind of relies himself on counter striking. And I don't know, again, I go back to I'm 50-50 on this. I don't know if Gilbert Burns, how is he going to be able to land on Wonderboy when Wonderboy's going to kind of be waiting for him to come in and then sting him with some punches. I just think, Wonderboy's been around for so long. He's such a great striker. He has great side kicks to the body. He has that awesome stance. He's super light on his feet. He's constantly moving. Look what he did to Jorge Masvidal not that long ago. Look what he did to Vicente Luque. And Vicente Luque, that was a close first round. But as Vicente Luque started to wear on, Wonderboy just put on an absolute clinic, demolishing Vicente Luque. And that was a great fight. And Vicente Luque is a quality fighter. Vicente Luque is better than anybody on Gilbert Burns' resume. And then then Wonderboy even took the Jeff Neal fight in December of last year. And Jeff Neal is a guy that a lot of people thought could be a future welterweight contender. And Wonderboy went in there and absolutely beat him, every single round, if I remember correctly. Won a decision, was able to outland him. His cardio looked great. His striking looked great. His movement looked great. And he may be successful in this Burns fight. I'm not sure. He has the reach advantage. I think he has a 4-inch reach advantage on Gilbert Burns. But I just think as the fight wears on, I think Wonderboy's going to slow down a bit. And I think Gilbert Burns is a guy. You'll see guys who begin to lose a fight, whether it's a first, second, third round. They'll begin to lose a fight and they kind of just give up. They don't want to get finished themselves, but they know they're not going to win the fight. And a guy I like to use an example of is Kelvin Gastelum. If you look back at his Robert Whittaker fight, he was clearly losing the fight, but by no means did he pack it in and, just, okay, I don't want to get finished. I'm just going to go to decision and lose. And Gilbert Burns is that type of guy. He's going to know, if Wonderboy somehow wins the first and second round, Gilbert Burns is going to know, and he's going to come for that finish in that third round. And I think Wonderboy is going to slow down a little bit. Gilbert Burns is going to catch him with a big power strike and put him down and eventually submit him. And we've even seen in the past when Wonderboy fought Woodley twice, because of Woodley's power, it froze Wonderboy a bit. I've never seen Wonderboy striking look as inefficient as it did in those Woodley fights, and it was all because of Woodley's neutralizing power. And he has to be wary of that with Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns has filthy power. We've seen it time and time again. He's not nowhere near like an Anthony Johnson or I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head right now, but he does have dangerous power, and I think he's going to find Wonderboy. I hate to say it because I love both guys honestly, but I would like to see Wonderboy be able to get a chance to challenge Usman for the belt. And I think if Wonderboy can get an impressive win here, he could fight Usman next for the belt. I know the whole division's up in the air right now, so who knows what could happen. But I just think to sum it all up, it's going to be Wonderboy doing typical Wonderboy things, outpointing Gilbert Burns, landing side kicks, countering. Burns is going to be kind of pressing forward, looking for the takedowns, but I just don't know if his offensive wrestling is good enough to get takedowns against Wonderboy. It's hard to get on his legs. Wonderboy's movement is so good. And I think it's going to require Burns to really hurt him to eventually get him to the ground and submit him. And that's why I'm predicting that. I think that Wonderboy, if he's not rocked in this fight, then I don't think Gilbert Burns is probably going to get him down. I think Gilbert Burns will probably clinch up with him, push him up against the fence, use some dirty boxing to kind of wear on him. But I just don't think a fresh Wonderboy who's not absorbed a lot of damage, who's not fatigued, I just don't think Gilbert Burns is going to be able to get him down. His offensive wrestling has not looked the greatest in the past. But if he is able to hurt Wonderboy, he will be able to get him to the ground. And I think he will immediately shoot in on a takedown if he does hurt Wonderboy. And if he gets Wonderboy to the ground, I believe he can get a submission. Wonderboy does not want to go to the ground in this fight. Gilbert Burns has great submissions. He hasn't been able to show him too much, but in the last few fights, but he's been fighting some of the toughest guys, in the division. Woodley and then Kamaru Usman back to back. And I'm just so excited for this fight. I can't wait. Again, Gilbert Burns, third round submission. Let me know in the comments, who do you guys think is going to win this fight? I'm genuinely curious. I've tossed it back and forth, and eventually I went with Gilbert Burns. We'll see how I do. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, check out my other predictions for UFC 264. I'll put the link in the description. Do me a favor. If you guys enjoy these videos, please like the video. I really appreciate it. Help the channel grow. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. I can't wait to hit that milestone. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.